I'm a 21-year-old girl who lives alone. I exercise twice a day, I eat healthy, I get enough sleep, and I take my vitamins. I like to think I'm smart. At least, I'm not a complete moron. I read books and I speak my mind and I write, but all it takes is one sentence to reduce me to a victim. Tonight, I took a shower, like every other night. My bathroom is directly across the hall from my bedroom, so it takes half a second to step out of the shower, into my towel, and into my room. Towel hit the floor, I rummaged around for my nightie, I was exposed for maybe 30 seconds at the most. Another 30 seconds later, someone buzzed up to my flat. It was after midnight, so I ignored it. I live next door to a bar, and drunks tend to play with the buttons on their way home. But the buzzer kept on going, to the point where I wondered if it was a friend in trouble. I answered the intercom, but didn't unlock the front door. Hello? Hello, a very slurred English male voice. Are you the lovely lady I just saw exiting the shower? I didn't understand. I literally didn't comprehend what he was saying, so I said, what? He said in that confused way drunks sometimes talk, I just wanted to ask if you were the lovely lady who I saw through the window. Who the fuck is this? Something in my brain was telling me to panic, but I was too shocked to register it. You don't know me. My name is redacted, and I would love to give your lovely body a massage. Please let me inside. I slammed the intercom phone back into the cradle. The hallway felt a strange mixture of claustrophobic and exposed. As the intercom buzzed again, I sprinted into my bedroom and dove beneath my duvet, door slamming shut behind me. I reached out from beneath the blankets to my window and managed to close the parted curtains entirely. After a minute, the intercom went silent. It took another minute for me to phone my parents, an entire country away, and then 5 more to phone the police. Unsurprisingly, they couldn't find him. That drunkard is probably sleeping off the alcohol right now in some plush hotel bed a couple streets away, memories mingling within dreams. I'm in bed, my front door chained and my bedroom door locked. I love my flat. It's small and cozy, and half the walls are windows. I love the way the natural light pours through during the day, and at night I love watching the stars. Every curtain is shut right now, every door is shut, for added visual obstruction between rooms. I'm not scared, I'm angry. I'm angry that no matter what I accomplish, no matter who I am or what I've done, all a man, a stupid, drunken oaf, needs to do is leer at my naked body through a window and I'm reduced to a powerless victim. He could have taken photos, he could have broken down the front door. He treated me like a creature at a petting zoo, and I hate him for that. I'm a frequent lurker of this sub, and I figured I'd never have anything to contribute, definitely a good thing. However, having had to call the police tonight, non-emergency, no worries, I remembered an unsettling series of events that occurred around 14 years ago when I was in the 8th grade. Warning, this story is kind of a slow burn. I grew up in the rural South, next door to my grandparents. We lived in a deeply wooded area right off the highway on a large plot of land my grandparents owned. When this took place, only my grandmother was alive. While not huge, our woods were large enough to act as a home for deer, rabbits, foxes, and the like. Just to give you a sense of how in the boonies this was, at the edge of our land was a family-owned dairy farm and fields along the highway. Google Maps still can't locate my childhood address. Near the end of 8th grade, our class went on a day-to-day field trip and parents were to pick us up at 10 p.m. This being before the cell phone boom, I was pretty embarrassed and upset when no one came to get me from school. We tried calling my house phone, no go. About an hour late, my dad finally came to get me in his pickup, calm but visibly rattled. As it turned out, as my dad was leaving to get me on time, 4 strange men were lurking through our large wooded yard. Burly redneck he is, my dad chased him through the woods until they disappeared into the field, our tiny Pekingese pug giving chase right along with him. The police were called, but there wasn't much they could do aside from filing a report. While scary, I was kind of an oblivious child, and with the police having been called, I figured it was over with. Addicts would sometimes steal lawnmowers and weed eaters. It happens. Looking back, the things that happened over the following months make my skin crawl. I began to notice strange cars parked off the highway near our home in the middle of the night. Given that our house was tucked back into the woods, it was easy for them to keep the license plate turned away from the view of our windows. The cars were always just sitting, no one getting out or in, nothing whatsoever to even feign a breakdown. We called the police when we noticed these strange cars, but the distance to our home made it that they always had driven off by the time anyone reached us. I didn't understand at the time, but we were clearly being watched. Even as an adult, I don't understand what these people wanted. We lived in a little trailer that didn't exactly scream drug money awaits, and there were equally isolated yet affluent neighborhoods that were easily accessible. My parents worked full-time during the day, and my sister and I were both teenagers in school, so why not break in during the day? As I said, our home was wooded, shielded off a dirt road from the highway we lived on, so no one would have even noticed. I was in bed when the men came back. It seemed the strange car visits had lessened, but my father went out late one night to get CDs from his pickup, and they were out there again. My mother made us stay inside when she called the police, but I remember the sound of my father screaming as he thundered after them. Just like last time, they disappeared into the woods. The police couldn't find them. They agreed that they were stalking us out. We were poor, so there was no money for security equipment. My mother had never allowed guns in the house until this point, but my grandfather's old rifles were now kept in the closet. We lived in our old trailer. Our grandmother lived beside us in a little brick house she built with my grandfather in the 70s. It had an old-fashioned carport with steps that led to her front door, clunky with frosted glass shutters from top to bottom. It made a distinct, heavy sound of shaking glass when it was knocked on. Usually a family member would sleep over with her in case she needed something, but she had been feeling well that day and didn't need help. She always stayed up late watching television and liked to sleep during the day when it was sunny and warm. A man came to her door sometime past 3 in the morning. She called out to ask who it was, thinking it might be one of us. There was no answer. He continued to knock while my grandmother told him to go away, leave her alone. Instead, he opened her door. It was old and fairly easy to unlock, but her chain lock kept him from getting in, so he spoke directly to her through the crack. He would only tell her, "Come on, let me in. Let me in, I know you're alone." I have no idea how she kept her calm through this, or how she had the nerve to lie on her couch and get equally irate with the strange man at her door in the night. She couldn't walk well, and her phone was in the kitchen. After 15 minutes of this exchange, the stranger calmly closed the door and went away. My grandmother called our home first. He could be coming to us next, and then the police. I was sitting in my grandfather's recliner, listening as she told the officers what happened. She was calm then too, with her jaw stuck out in anger. Obviously nothing ever came of it. We never found out who was watching us or why. The man never came back. The strangers in their unfamiliar cars stopped coming. We never saw anyone outside again. Whoever wanted to come inside, let's not meet. To my grandmother, let's meet again. Hi there. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you've enjoyed this week's Let's Not Meet stories. If you have a story that you would like featured on this channel, please email it to readingrubyYT@gmail.com, which I'll list in the description below. Please join some friends and I over on the VexTech Labs YouTube and Twitch channels to check us out playing some Injustice 2 and talking smack with one another. Please leave a like, a comment, let me know what you think, and subscribe if you haven't already. And stay safe out there.